Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. President Biden at a CNN town hall tells Americans when he thinks we will be out of the pandemic and what it will take to get kids back into the classroom. Plus, as Democrats push forward with COVID relief, one of their key demands could slow things down. Here at home, Bakersfield City School District announces plans to put kids back into the classroom, and the frigid winter weather is turning deadly. As many as 20 people have died in one county in Texas as the state struggles to get the power back on to millions. Today is February 17th, 2021. Good morning, Kern County, and thanks so much for starting your day with us. It is Wednesday. We are halfway through the work week. It's also hard to believe, Maddie, that we are halfway through the month, more than halfway through the month.
Yeah, you know, it is so hard to believe that we are already well into 2021. I saw a sign yesterday, and this just popped into my mind. And it was outside of a Starbucks. Instead of saying, have a great day, it just said, have a day. And so I think that's our new standard for 2021. We're already this far in. Let's just lower the bar. Let's just say, have a day, everybody. So morning, everybody. And let's check out what we're looking for in the forecast this morning with Kevin. Those clouds were sticking around for most of the day yesterday, but they did finally clear out, which was nice, Kev. I was glad to see the sun.
Yeah, and we've got a little bit of cloud cover that reappeared for this morning, but I do expect us to see mostly sunny skies as we progress into the afternoon once again. It's just this post-vernal cloud cover that kind of gets banked up here around the Kern County area, and that's kind of what we're seeing this morning. But again, clearing out throughout the day. Let's show you the satellite and radar, and it's picking it up right now on our satellite. And again, but no low-lying clouds out of Tehachapi at this time, so that's good. We've got a temperature of 45 degrees for Bakersfield, a southeast wind at 5 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the hour by hour here, you can see a few clouds for the morning hours, and then by 3 o'clock we should be sunny. Just a light breeze today, and you can see the winds have really calmed down into the mountain and desert locations. No wind advisory in place, so that's always good to hear. And here's a look at out near Tehachapi. You can see the freeway in the distance there, the flag blowing a little bit. We will still see a little bit of a breeze, but not at advisory criteria. 36 degrees for Tehachapi at this time. We do have that northwest wind at 14. Visibility is good at 8 miles. And here's a look at the hour by hour, and you can see here we're expecting the 40s throughout the afternoon, and we'll be seeing clearing skies here as well. I'll have much more in your forecast coming up in just a little bit. For now, we'll send it back over to you.
Kev, thanks so much. President Biden meets with labor leaders today to talk about his next big push in an infrastructure bill, and he says it will create millions of jobs. Last night, the pandemic dominated a town hall where he promised to deliver more vaccines and get children back into the classroom. Tracy Potts has the highlights, plus the latest on COVID relief, your stimulus payment, and what Democrats want to tackle next.
Alex, good morning. Good morning, everyone. President Biden clarifying that going back to school should mean 5 days a week, not part-time, as we're seeing in many districts right now as they rotate days and weeks. Children are being tested for the vaccine, but as for adults, the president said by June there should be enough vaccine for every American who wants to get the shot. At a town hall in Wisconsin last night, President Biden predicted the pandemic will ease by the end of this year.
By next Christmas, I think we'll be in a very different circumstance, God willing, than we are today.
Get the kids back to school.
Biden telling America opening classrooms means teachers need shots.
Teachers and the folks who work in the school, the cafeteria workers and others, should be on the list of preferred to get a vaccination.
The president pushing his $1.9 trillion relief plan.
Now's the time we should be spending. Now's the time to go big.
But a push to increase the minimum wage could slow things down. Republican Mitt Romney tweeting that he's introducing a bill to raise pay to protect American workers. Democrats say they're ready to pass COVID relief without one Republican vote.
That's their decision, and they'll have to be accountable for that.
The Biden administration is upping the ante on vaccines, doubling shipments since Inauguration Day to 13.5 million doses a week, after governors complained about the rollout. Democrats are looking beyond COVID, laying out their agenda for the next month. They want to take action on police reform and voting rights. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
President Biden also shot down a proposal from other prominent Democrats that would forgive thousands of dollars of student loan debt. Earlier this month, several representatives called on the president to forgive $50,000 for federal student loan debt holders. In the CNN town hall, the president said he would not forgive $50,000 for borrowers, but he would consider forgiving some level of student debt.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Kern County, and it is evident that the worst days are behind us, but we're still learning about how grim our deadliest days were. Here's a look at the journey that we've been on since March of last year. Our average is now below 400 people getting sick every day. We haven't been that low since before Thanksgiving. Our peak was the week after New Year's, and that's when we saw an average of 1,200 people getting infected every day. The downward trend is also happening in our hospitals. State data from yesterday shows 237 people are in a Kern County hospital with coronavirus. 53 more are fighting for their lives in the ICU. These numbers continue to slowly decline. Last week, we learned of 23 lives lost because of coronavirus. 14 of those deaths were in December. It's just another example of how long it takes for our health department to confirm a death. The deadliest week was the week before Christmas. The true number of COVID-related deaths is most likely significantly higher because of the lag in reporting.
Although there are encouraging signs in our case rates right now, restrictions still remain in place, and when they'll be lifted still remains to be seen. 17's Ileana Kaplan joins us this morning with an update on the timeline for reopening. Good morning, Ileana.
Good morning, Maddie. While unthinkable just last month, many counties in California could be just weeks away from seeing restrictions lifted. Here's a look at the latest update and the state's metrics for tiers. Kern County is still in the purple most restrictive tier. We have to lower these 3 purple bars that you see on your screen. Once we hit the red, there will be less restrictions. Yesterday, Governor Gavin Newsom was asked about the timeline on reopening as cases continue to fall. While hesitant, Newsom said he believes several counties will not only move out of their purple tier, but into the less restrictive orange and yellow tiers.
The answer is yes, based on trend lines, 3.5% 7-day positivity rate. Remember, we were 11.4% a month ago, 3.5% 7-day. We have one county, Plumas, pursuant to your question, that's moving out of purple into the red tier today. I anticipate substantial number next week and even more in the subsequent weeks.
Newsom said while the trend lines are hopeful, reopening plans could change based on the spread of different variants of the coronavirus, which at this moment they are thought to be more transmissible. So far, California has seen 189 cases of the UK variant, 2 of the South African strain, and over 1,800 cases of California's own West Coast variants. That last number is up 50% since last week. So, while there aren't any guarantees from the governor, he does say if trends continue and cases continue to drop, we could see some movement out of the purple tier soon. In studio, Ileana Kaplan, 17 News.
All right, thanks very much, Ileana. 5:09 now. If you've been waiting to get a COVID-19 vaccine, you have another chance to register for an appointment at the Fairgrounds mass vaccination site. Appointments for first and second doses opened back up yesterday morning. Public Health will resume administering vaccines today through Saturday. You must call first to book your appointment before you go to the fairground to get that shot. The number is 868-0165. Public Health says the problem is the vaccine supply. It remains extremely limited. So try to book your appointment as soon as possible. Right now, shots are walk-up only. Soon, Public Health hopes to be able to open up that site to drive-through so they can administer even more shots. And a reminder, there are other places around Kern County giving out those vaccines. You can visit Kern Public Health's website for a map of all of the providers and call to make an appointment. Just head to kernpublichealth.com.
10 minutes after 5, and in education news this morning, the Bakersfield City School District has announced plans to return to in-person instruction starting next month. You may remember in-person classes were suspended at the end of November due to a rise in COVID-19 cases across Kern County. Yesterday, BCSD sent a memo saying students in pre-K through second grade will return to campus on March 22nd, while in-person learning for grades 3 to 6 will begin March 24th. Grades 7 to 8 will continue distance learning until the county moves into the red tier. BCSD is the largest elementary school district across the country. As temperatures have dropped, the death toll has risen. Winter weather has been blamed for more than 24 deaths, and that figure is expected to rise. Nowhere has the weather made more of an impact than in Texas, where millions have been left without power and now struggling to stay warm. The latest now from NBC's Dan Scheneman.
A blast of winter weather hitting millions of Americans head on.
We need our power out here.
That's the plea from many Texans. Temperatures in the state dipped to record lows, and the power demand has outstripped supply. Outages are widespread.
We had a fireplace, and I burnt up all the wood we had. This is sad. This is a sad state of affairs. I wish it were better, but...
Some communities have set up warming centers, but Arctic conditions are taking lives.
The Galveston County Medical Examiner's Office has requested a refrigerated truck because they do not feel they can handle the capacity that they currently know about. And unfortunately, that count's probably going to go up. Right now, they're estimating 20 fatalities that they'll be working, all weather related.
The weather system has also moved east.
It was almost like 30 seconds here, but it felt like an eternity.
A rare February tornado struck near the North Carolina coast. Sandra Todd survived.
The windows in the house, you could actually feel like the house was breathing.
The twister has been blamed for at least 3 deaths. Dan Scheneman, NBC News.
Making headlines around the nation this morning, in about 40 minutes, former President Donald Trump's one-time hotel and casino in Atlantic City will be demolished. The Trump Plaza closed in 2014, and now a demolition described as a Las Vegas-style implosion is scheduled for 6 a.m. our time. A drive-in event and live stream will also be offered for viewers as part of an attempt to curb the risk of coronavirus. The plaza was over $500 million in debt by the early 1990s when it entered Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Mr. Trump had shifted ownership of the casino and is no longer an owner of the building.
Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska is standing by her vote to convict President Trump of inciting insurrection. Murkowski was one of 7 Republican senators that voted against the president. NBC News caught up with her in her home state to talk about her vote and possible censure by the Alaskan Republican Party.
If the party is to censure me because they felt that I needed to support the party, they can make that statement. But I will make the statement again that my obligation is to support the Constitution that I have pledged to uphold, and I will do that even if it means that I have to oppose the direction of my state party.
Other Republican senators facing backlash include Richard Burr of North Carolina. He was censured by his state party, and Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania is also facing retribution.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
In your 17 Business Watch, 2 fast food chains are offering delicious deals this week. Fast food lovers can sign up to secure a McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich for just $5 starting tomorrow. The early access comes in a limited edition capsule, which also includes an original, never-before-heard audio track on vinyl and a limited edition hoodie. You can just go to chickendrop.com, that's chicken spelled CHKN, to claim the capsule. And as NASA's Perseverance rover makes an epic landing on Mars this Thursday, Krispy Kreme will give fans a unique opportunity to celebrate. The new Mars donut lands at shops across the country tomorrow. The chocolate cream-filled donut is dipped in caramel icing with a red planet swirl and sprinkled with chocolate cookie crumbs. The Mars donut is only available tomorrow. Boy.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.